Whoa, have you put something to bed and rested on its ashes? Like you burned it alive and said, I'm gonna make a little nice comic, a little bed here. I'm just gonna little bed here, and I'm gonna lay in it and celebrate with this Kali energy. And I feel that you actually have been through this cycle many, many times. So you weren't unfamiliar. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles on the bottom. You weren't unfamiliar with its transformation or with the necessity to like turn on this like kind of alchemical process. Something about the fire energy is it helps us balance the rage, the unbalanced like wildness of fire, so that it can be focused in a more like divine direction and not burn us out or even scorch the pathways or the individuals that we're not wanting to, other than the ones that might need it. There are just some situations that are necessary, and it feels like something came up from the past and you said no, 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 not no, thank you, fuck no. And you said, I'm gonna put this to bed once and for all. This is not gonna come back up, and it's another cycle. And so you called forth your higher self, your younger self, your inner child, your inner teenager, every version of you up until this point, every version of you after this point. And then you called the versions of the situation, every version before and after. You called the person from the situation, or they may have even involved themselves in this discussion and didn't realize what they got themselves involved in. But you called it forth energetically and like presently, like with your body, mind, and soul. I really feel this like in your energy here. And there's something about you doing so with a way of like finally turning the wheels in or getting things moving. There feels like a stagnancy that was, my cat just ran by. A stagnancy that was, I can't make it up. It feels like a stagnancy that you've not been able to release for a very long time, but you're finally stepping out of with a hanged person in reverse. You're finally coming down from this perspective shift that you placed yourself in purposefully so that you could alchemize and actually allow, like I said, you said, I felt like a vampire when you like dug yourself into the ashes, like, ooh, and you know what's beautiful about ashes? It's giving me the phoenix. Ashes are used, they actually celebrate their funeral. They have a funerary like nest that they make, and they gather myrrh, they gather sticks, they gather all these things, and then they sit on it and they literally torch themselves on fire and become a giant bonfire. This is fitting for Imbolc. We're about to experience Imbolc, the fire festival. All of this energy, I was just channeling in my live actually a lot of this as well. I'm doing a new live every Thursday at 7 on YouTube, and so the community messages that came up there, I start there and then I move over to TikTok. So we always start at 7 there, 8 o'clock here on TikTok. So we just finished all that up. And I'm in that channel state, so I thought I'd get you a message. Anyways, 8 of Cups here, and the 3 of Swords peeking on the top there. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 of Cups. I misread that. 4 of Cups here. You're a little closed off to anything being offered to you at this point because of the fact that you knew, or you burned this funerary nest so that you could get this ash, and you knew that this ash was going to provide sustenance, like healthy sustenance. Like ash is some of the most nutritional valuable like energy that you can use, and so it actually is what helps birth the experiences. All of that turns into the nutritions that the phoenix, or that you in this case, are using, and this is why you're being a little more guarded, but Spirit's asking for you not to close off from anything that could help you in this transformation by thinking that you've already like completed it, right? There's like a sensation of like, as you're absorbing all of these things, there'll be new opportunities for things to come in, and in your boundary setting with this fire, or in your clarity in your voice, or in your ability to understand what will be useful, as above so below, as within so without, as the soul so the universe, or as the universe so the soul, you'll know what is useful, and you'll let anything else literally like be used to fuel what is useful. And I'm also getting from your guides that like with those wheels turning, something that's been going for a long time, the manifestations that were put in before the slowdown, almost like a sludged or a gunked up pipe, will suddenly burst out. If you've ever seen a pipe that gets clear, there's all like this so much like mud and water and like build up, and it's just like all, it comes out in a huge pressure, like shoots out, but a ton of it at first purse is just like gunk, 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 gunk. And that's the imagery they're giving me. You've been flushing your systems. This is what the fire spirit guide does so well. I highly recommend, if this message is resonating with you and you haven't worked with any of my spirit guide candles before, that you bridge that gap right now, please. I don't mean it as like a way of like if you've been following me for a while, even more so. If you're new, okay, hang out. You got to see things 20 times. I understand it. All of my candles are made with Reiki infused soy and coconut wax and essential oil fragrances only. But the biggest thing about them is the magic that I do into them, and the magic and the energy work that these guides, they've transformed my life. They've changed my entire life, and I'm having an outer body experience as I'm talking about this. Like, I can see myself talking about it. It's kind of weird. But they've changed my life, and this is like, oh, I know why. Because this is what you did, and this is the ability that you're activating. You're calling forth your future, your past, all versions of every situation, and you're saying, I'm not gonna be fooled by anyone. I'm gonna act as the high priestess. I'm going to be the magician here and come out of this hangman position. I'm gonna put to rest and put to bed all of the things that are not serving me, all these old relationships, and not only old relationships, but old approaches and dynamics, especially when it comes to your emotions and to closing yourself off emotionally, because that Four of Cups really stayed in my mind. And then the Hanged One, this is, I think, part of what kept you in this Hanged One position for so long. With the Magician, I just feel like this new cycle is not going to need as much alchemy. You've done so much fuel to like change the inner workings of the system that suddenly it's like a new attraction. Like if you think about like when they change, I don't know why I'm getting this reference, but like at like Disney World or something, when they take an old attraction and they take it and make it all new with all new things, it becomes the new attraction, and all these things are working. There'll be some new kinks that have to be fleshed out, maybe some old kinks from old software and things like that have to be updated to become the new Moana experience instead of the swamp experience from Tiana. I have no idea, but those energies are giving like a system upgrade, an application that might have a couple of kinks with it, but once you get the things rolling, the systems were already working for so long. It is not an entire new body of work, it's just a new coat of paint. And that coat of paint is not something of just slapping on that without intention. You've taken the time to do the work for the body of the work, and then paint diligently with a lot of detail, a lot of beauty. And that's allowing for your spirit and your whole, all of these things to unify. Like I was saying, all of those versions of you and everything to come to completion in a way that does not send you back into wondering or trying to figure out or guessing or not believing in your intuition or what you see or how you see. You're a very wise individual. You live by your mind, but you're learning how to practically implement those things into the 3D. This was, I couldn't tell if it was upright or in reverse. I think it might have been in reverse. And I'm actually going to clarify the Emperor, because here that's an actual interesting energy. You could be going from Magician to Emperor. You also could be, with your manifesting, you could be attracting an Emperor. You could also be attracting your own Emperor energy to be more imbalanced with your Empress energy. We have masculine and feminine, Emperor, Empress energy. Regardless on how you identify, you're always activating those energies. Those energies aren't just one aspect of you. I challenge you to also challenge the status quo, Aquarius energy, and not look at it from one side or the other, especially with the way that we've understood and started to understand gender and expression of gender. Let's start questioning more of those esoteric and spiritual applications of the masculine and the feminine. And here with the Emperor energy, okay, I gotta be quick here. Here with the Emperor energy, like, I want your clarifier. I feel that there's just this lining up with your voice. That's coming through very clearly here for you. Oh my God, Empress and Emperor! The Emperor and the Empress. Look at this divine pair here. That's beautiful. I just think that and look, be strong. You're not going to have to be strong any longer. This person, this energy, this frequency, both sides of you are going to feel balanced. They're going to feel whole and loved and supported. I am sending you so much love. There is something magical happening in your life. If you found your way here, I want you to comment down below 2 emojis that feel connected to you. I'll know. 2 emojis that feel connected to you. Whatever relationship that brings up, you pick those 2 emojis, and I want them to be that. Thank you, Torchbearers. Book with me on my website. Follow for more. I love you. Awoo!